It's live, yes it is. Clem from Team Liquid is our Terran in the bottom left. From Offsyde in the top right, it's Firefly. I feel like they're having a competition for who has the better bed hair right now. You know, it's a little bit funky over here. And Clem's hair is getting pretty long now. Clem's hair is getting real long as we get a depot and a pylon. Bits and pieces just coming through here initially, getting set. Nothing too crazy or incredible just yet. We'll see. Pretty fun to see if someone's going to end up taking that gold and to see what the other guy does about it. That really is the intriguing part of this map a lot of the time. That's usually what we're kind of looking for. As just have a probe continue to come about. Up a little Cybercore in. Again, Reaper, Orbital, extra barracks coming through. So actually second barracks already tells us a lot about what to expect here. There's double racks opener. Going to be very heavy on the bio early here from Clem, so a bio-centric style for Dynasty, as he is yet to drop in anything kind of funky in terms of the CC on that natural, on the gold base. So the barracks, second racks is hidden, and that is where Clem is hoping to kind of come in as a little bit of a surprise factor. And there is going to be the double Reaper on the way from Clem. So 2 Reapers now on the way up. So that's going to be our starting point here. And like I say, this is already going to start looking very interesting over the next few minutes. Okay, Stalker coming about. Our Nexus is on the way through as well. And yeah, like I say, if Firefly has no clue, it could just be a high ground CC so that he can't scout it anywhere just yet either. Have our Nexus getting set up, get that rolling. Pull back to the left-hand side. We just again have our Twilight Council coming through. The Nexus is finishing real shortly. Warp Gate coming up. Probe continues about. As the Reapers hop up to the high ground, and they're going to move in toward the main base. Stalker coming across as well. Let's just see how our Reapers fighting against some of the probes. Grenade going down again. Stalker going to get a few more shots off. Reapers continue to go. 3 probes going down, looking for number 4. I mean, just a straight up dive of these Reapers. The full investment into second racks and later CC for 4 workers killed. This Reaper would have loved to have gotten across to finish off that low HP probe, but it's just not feasible right now. So that does not come to fruition. Impact Combat Shield coming up, Marine Marauder still coming in. Our Blink is on the way through as well as our Reaper. It's going to get caught by these Stalkers, bit of damage then. Stalker's going to stay on the other side of the goal with the pylon here. The pressure will continue in this position, so Firefly really wants to double down on this a little right now. And that's going to be how he tries to get something out of this as Clem. It's still going to have a lot of production. He might have lost those Reapers kind of going for units, but he does then still have, you know, the Marauders coming out from that Tech Lab barracks early on, so I think that's something we're just going to be able to stick onto for a little bit here. Just see these Marauders coming through, Marines as well. Stalker's taking some shots. Stalker there firing back, and an SUV taking some hits as well. Now the Stalkers come through, and they're actually going to be able to grab themselves one of these Marauders. I mean, this is a very aggressive push from Clem, kind of chasing over. He's about to have Stim. Firefly's about to have Blink. They're both confident in their own race for kind of, honestly, pretty reasonable reasons. As Stim finally kicks in from Clem, he's got so many of these Stalkers low, but can he actually finish them off? Blink's obviously very good at just kind of keeping units alive. Clem loses out on a lot of forces, and again, might have just gone a little bit overboard trying to chase all the way across here. That's a lot of his supply down. Now he's going to have trouble mining off of his gold, which means he's essentially on one base of economy, which is obviously not ideal. And this is the problem with this gold base. It's almost always going to be attacked. It's almost always going to be something of a problem. As our Stalkers will continue to take a few more shots. Yeah, either Clem just GG'd out as well. Clem just, yeah, he just realizes that he cannot really recover from this. Too many Stalkers, too much pressure on the gold. And Firefly's going to win the first game. No one was expecting the GG right then, apparently. Bottom left-hand side, Red Protoss player taking the first game. It is going to be Firefly. Clem on the other right-hand side, the Blue Terran from Team Liquid looking to close this series out. SCV coming across, obviously wants to make sure nothing too wild's going on. The main important part of this game for Clem is, I think, taking control early, and he's probably going to engineering bay block to try and do that. But that's what this probe is for as well. It's looking for exactly this. It wants to spot the engineering bay coming down, so you can get on that SCV immediately and limit the amount of HP that gets on it. The other probes coming over. I'm just going to wrap around that engineering bay as the SCV saddles off to the side for the moment. Quick, easy cleanup. Firefly will not let the engineering bay be too disruptive in his overall game plan. He'll be able to get back on track pretty swiftly. Adept going to begin to chrono boost. Nexus probe coming in as well. Warp gate continues out. This probe's still chilling on the top side, by the way, and SCV on the bottom, ready to drop down. Chinky little proxy. It's going to be the starport there from Clem, so he's going to get the Hellion proxy drop going, and just going to try and utilize that to get real aggressive real quickly here. Two Hellions, the Marine continue to come across. Going to be seeing the Adept getting shoved away. And that's going to be that Adept going down. Just going to be seeing a couple extra gates coming through. Warp gate coming up. Extra probes coming in. And we're just going to be seeing the chrono boost on that warp gate continuing about as well. Probe facility building away. We do have the probe coming back into the center. Planes drop in, so this drop is now active, and we are going to see how many kills we can get. Only 2 probes off the first fire. Now we're going to get 2 more. The medevac's healthy enough to get across towards the natural, and then we could potentially turn as well. This is where we're going to struggle to be in position. That's what the Adept Shade is great for. The repositioning there with those units allows you to be a lot better off as we get a couple more probes. It's now 6 workers lost. Honestly, one of the better defenses you will see against Clem's proxy starport Hellion drop. He is so good with using this build, using it in different ways to get different amounts of damage done, hitting in different places, and this was a real good shutdown on it. Stalker's still fighting. SCVs need to come about. Tank firing up a couple more shots as well, so the Stalker's still being chased around. Still firing. The Orbital Command taking some shots. We are going to be seeing our tank Will and Siege. We're going to come back down the low ground with it here. And as we just try and deal with this, Clem's CC is obviously into some pretty heavy fire right now. Really needs to recover from this. As the CC will live, and the tank's obviously going to keep you in a bit of a safer position than you were in before as well. So that's a big step in the right direction. And Twilight and a few extra gates coming up. The Immortal on the way out as Firefly continues to build up here. Again, if Firefly wins this game, guys, we get to go to an ace match. How exciting is that? Charge and Immortal still coming through again. Stim and Combat coming up as well. And Combat Shield, Stim. The good stuff coming through, so once that comes in, Clem will be in a much better position to kind of keep on playing, but until then, still in a little bit of trouble. Let's just have our charge coming through, about halfway done at the moment. The Immortal's halfway done as well. Marine's going to come through with that Marauder, knock down the pylon over there, knock down that position a little bit. And Stalkers, the Immortal, gathering up for a little bit. Just going to have ourselves the Stim Combat Shield and +1 coming through as well. So all of that still being brought in. We knock down that gateway and Clem recovering. Clem getting back on his feet after this early game. Hellion Drop didn't necessarily do enough straight away. Just going to see Zealots and Sentries back to the middle of the map and still having... I mean, Firefly set up aggressively with this Prism and not really any other tech involved. This is pure gateway units, and that looks to be what he plans on continuing to do as we get another warp in here. He's going to start moving forward. Bio going to get jumped on. A couple force fields in the back going to be blocking units off as well. Clem, not the time to be moving forward, and well, he does have the upgrades, but does he have the unit count to make these upgrades matter at all? That's going to be our question in the next couple of moments as the CC is under fire again. That might have to just be a lift away from at least the additional Immortal fire that's on it. Obviously, the Stalkers can shoot up even if the CC lifts. The SCV is not dying really too heavily yet. 7 workers down. The tanks putting in a bit of a blasting throughout this. They've been able to just fire, 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 and they have been a big part of why Clem would defend this if this is a defense made. But I feel like we're running out of bio units, and Clem slumping a little bit. I think he's realizing that this is going to an ace match in Offsyde. What a turnaround, man. When Madness started off the day 2-0, kind of thought as though this was kind of wrapped up already. The Firefly 2-0 Clem. With Firefly 2-0 and Clem, this entire series is under, well, looks as though we are ready to begin. In the bottom right side, our Blue Terran from Team Liquid in this ace match. It is Clem. Could not get it done before. Can he get it done now as Firefly already has a 2-0 on him today? Rex Gate coming up. We got this set and ready to rumble. Did he miss the 3-year anniversary, Man in the Moon? Well, did he not 3-year resub? I want to say I remember it, but honestly that's something which I'm not sure I can confidently say. Thank you so much for the 37-month resub, mate. Appreciate it. Alright, well, we get into Did you celebrate it? Yeah, I feel like I saw your name not so long ago. I know I didn't stream much lately, but I feel like in some of my past streams you did. I don't know, I see your name every month, so maybe I'm just remembering a different month. Thank you for the 3+ years. 3 years and a month, as we have. Next is coming down. Factory coming up. I really think Clem just needs to put the brakes on the aggression, and he could honestly have a good time, just play a bit safe. And the later game Clem is honestly not something that he has to be afraid of, because later game Clem is a good Clem, you know? Grumwald, thank you so much for the 3-year resub. There is a 3 years, you did not forget. Nice, nice, nice. Clem lost to Nightmare yesterday. Yeah, but Nightmare is genuinely very, very good right now. You guys not think Nightmare's been really sick since the patch? I don't know what it is, but he has been absolutely bopping since the patch. It's been really fun to see. Yo, Captain Hell on the 50-month resub as well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Talker comes through, chasing the Reaper out of here. We have got the Twilight Council coming up, Gateway, and a couple of additional probes coming up as well. So all of that coming through. Again, Marines, Orbital. Now, Marines, Command Center, Starport. More of everything still being brought in. Starport will stop the tech lab here from Clem, so something a little varied from him this game. We're going to start up a Raven. We're going to start up a Banshee. Banshee is the Marine tank. Banshee has been pretty darn popular in the matchup as of late, and that is exactly what Clem decides to go into for the moment. Well, Reaper Grenade. A Stalker gets bobbed around a little bit, and we have ourselves a hallucination going to come through. That's a great scout, of course. Gets to see the Starport with the Tech Lab researching as well. So as Nightmare, you get good information off this hallucination. You should not be getting caught off guard by anything. As the Robo facility going down to guarantee that we're going to have an answer to the Cloak Banshees. So that is going to be prepped up, ready to go. No issues there, like I say. Looking good in that regard at the very least. First Banshee will move out. We've not cancelled Cloak despite the scout, so we're going to stick to it. Still feels as though there's value to be found, even if it is maybe not going to come immediately. So I'm not worried about that too much. And Banshee coming over. And let's just have ourselves the move up towards the top again. Blink coming through. Observer coming out. And yeah, there's Banshee getting ready to go, rumble into this base. I mean, there's a battery here. The preparation is good, so nothing really going to happen as our Banshee just flies in overhead. Nothing too wild. Yeah, going to be a very lackluster kind of Banshee initially, although we get to the natural and the Observer not ready yet. Means we get ourselves a single probe before we get pushed back. Sit in that little dead air space for a moment, but only one probe killed. Second Banshee now moving across. May want to try and make this a combo attack. I guess we'll see fairly soon. Pops out of the Robo facility now. Swift is chasing. Reaper again pushed away. Now Banshee shows up. This is Banshee number 2 that's coming in. And it is while a lot of the Stalkers distracted dealing with the Marine tank push. So they're utilizing these Banshees to get the rest of the army into position. That's Clem's game plan. And the tanks have gone across the map pretty comfortably here. Look at the production tab. Tank, Liberator, Marine. Well, everything on the way is we're going to try and bunker to that far left-hand side. That's somewhere you can't really get to as the Protoss without the tanks denying you. I guess if you go all the way around the top of the Nexus. But then you're heavily out of position for Clem to actually hit your Nexus, so that would actually be pretty rough as well. We are going to blink onto the siege tanks here as the Marines will go for what they can. The tanks will obviously die during this. That dive is successful in that regard as the Banshees now will be kited. Marines trying to come through. If this tank honestly just moves up north, it could get sieged up and get reset again. And with enough Marines, I think that tank is well protected enough. The Stalkers actually have to blink away. The bunker went up, but it does go down. So bunker denied, and now we have the Stalkers from two sides. Going to come and clean this attack up. So Clem is going to be running out of stuff. And this is going to be the cleanup and the defense from Firefly. Okay, well, we lost a few probes. Obviously, they were pulled into the battle. Overall, though, Clem down by 7 workers. Clem against 3 base Protoss. And now Stalkers coming across the map. Does Clem have a way to deal with these Stalkers? Second tank on the high ground is so important right now. That tank unsieging, I don't hate the unsiege. I don't think this would have made any difference at all, whether it was sieged or not. Obviously, the tank high ground was the only one that was going to get to shoot. This Liberator will get active. Anything you can do to distract Firefly and, you know, do something along those lines would be great. Is that tank still firing? Stalker still getting punched away. And Clem is realizing that he's in a lot of trouble now. He can see the facial expressions as Firefly is on his road to 3-0ing Clem. Wow, what a disaster for Team Liquid. This started in the best possible way. Mana 2-0ing meant that this was meant to be just a Liquid series. We never really looked back, and Liquid are going to do it again. They're going to make that World Team League life more difficult than it needs to be. Good old Liquid. It's always been like this in WTL for Liquid. A team that is just so good. I don't want to say they struggle. They make playoffs a lot and everything, but like, this is a team that's meant to be like actually really good, especially with Q, and yet the group stages are never an easy kind of situation for them, you know? It's kind of crazy. Stimpack, Combat Shield, +1 attack, all coming through. You have that charge is coming about as well. That'll be finishing in just a couple of moments. Storm on the way up from Firefly. I mean, he's pretty much just got the freedom to do as he wishes, and that's exactly what he will choose to do right now. Get that Storm going. Again, the +1 armor coming through on the side of Firefly as well. A few Marines still firing up, and Observer goes down. Fire continues to press across. We'll see these few Stalkers getting pushed away once again. Prism shows up, a few Zealots going to unload, and just continue through in this main base. Extra Zealots as the SCVs get pulled away immediately. Storm is very close to being done. The rest of the SCVs pulling back into the main. The mule drops down. And the bit of Bio just going to go across the chase with Stalkers. A little bit as well. It's just going to go punch those away. Put some work in. Stalkers coming through, and here we go with the big old push. It is time to send it. It is time to commit. As Firefly, he's really got nothing to wait for anymore. He should just be go, going, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So, yeah, Firefly. He's going to send it right now. We've got the High Templars available to Storm. There's not really that much bio to Storm, and that's not really a bad thing as we cut to Clem's camera instead of the fight. I feel like we probably... I understand the fight was probably mostly in the Storms, but like... I feel like we should have probably watched the fight as Firefly with a celebratory